everybody, to another exciting episode of Packaging Perspectives, a podcast from Mood Group, your executive global packaging recruiter. Today, I'm very excited to introduce you to Fiona Mathews. Hi, Fiona.
Hi,
Whereabouts in the world do we find you today?
hi, Emma. I'm actually today in sunny Bath in England, and it's a beautiful sunlit blue day after having some fairly wild windy days recently. So it's an
Fabulous.
absolutely lovely, uplifting feeling to see
Yeah, we're
sparkling
lucky to have
sunlight.
the sun
Yes,
here as well in Kent.
yes,
So
yes,
good start to the
yes,
day.
indeed, it is. Thank
Do
you.
you have a favorite coffee shop or restaurant, Fiona, that
In,
you like to go to in Bath?
yes, there's a lot. It's a beautiful Roman city, and it's a World Heritage City, so it has
Oh,
extraordinary beautiful buildings, Georgian buildings with, floor-to-ceiling windows that open out
yes.
onto balconies and things. We're very lucky. So in the spirit of that, right by the Royal Crescent,
Uh-huh.
if you walk away from the Crescent towards the town again, on your left, there's a lovely little walk arcade full of artists and poets and
Oh,
and
wow.
and places that are very interesting antique shops. And in the middle of that is one of my favorite cafes called the Green Bird.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's got a little
Fantastic.
back garden, and you can sit
Yes.
out in the front if it's sunny like today. And
Yes.
they have delicious food, very
Oh,
simple. It's family run,
lovely.
and the
Oh, we'll
chef
have to
is
check it
the
out.
owner. Yes, the
Check it out
Green
next
Bird.
time. The
It's
Green
only
Bird.
open during the day, wonderful breakfasts and lunches, and then they close at about 5, I think.
Okay.
So it's a great
Fabulous.
spot, and it's really it's quite buzzy, and
Mhm.
tourists are finding it, but there's a lot of locals there too,
Okay.
and it's very sweet. And
Good
people,
recommendation.
yes, can take their dogs out into the garden if they want to, not inside.
Okay.
So there
Lovely.
we are. Yes,
Oh, sounds
and
like a
there's
lovely
other
place.
beautiful places by the river and things that I think you can go easily.
Is it the River Avon?
Yes, the
Yeah,
Avon River with
Avon River.
beautiful trees. And another favorite tiny spot is in the Royal Botanical Gardens. If you park at the top, there's
Hmm.
a dear little cafe that opens during the day,
Hmm.
and you've got tables and chairs. One of my favorite trees is a Lebanese cedar that was planted there in 1640.
Wow.
So it's a city full of beautiful ancient trees as well. If you
Yeah.
look around, it's really special. So
Wow.
thank
It's
you.
such an amazing place, Bath, and one I haven't been to for many years, but I really must get over to there
Yes,
to check out your good recommendations.
yes.
Thanks, Fiona.
You're
So,
welcome. Thank
Fiona, welcome. We're very,
you.
very excited to have you on today. It was amazing to meet you I think it was June we met at the Bearsted Can, the Climate
That's right.
Action Network
That's right.
event.
Yes.
Um, and I was so impressed with your story that I wanted to invite you onto the podcast. And I understand your background is reporting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was a reporter for the ABC, which is the Australian Broadcasting Corporation.
Hmm.
And one of my favorite methods of communication was actually radio. I loved that because I could interview anyone in all
Yeah.
sorts of extraordinary places without dragging a camera crew with you. And
Wow. Yeah,
then
of course.
that was very liberating. And you
Hmm.
could sit looking a wreck because they couldn't see you. You could just interview happily. It was wonderful. But seriously, I also was a correspondent in Mexico City and in New York as well
Uh-huh.
as in
Gosh,
Australia.
very
So
well qualified then at reporting and
yes.
finding interesting stories.
Well, that's the stories is what really nudged me over many years to realize that we always reported the drama and the terribleness of the world. And
Yes.
I reported one story from New York about people dying of cold during winter and the collection of people in the mornings who died, and filed it. And of course, the chief of staff in Australia said, "Oh, yes," and they ran the story. And a couple of weeks later, I rang and said, "I've got a very important follow-up." The community was so horrified at what's going on. They've got an old building, they're restoring it, they've got soup kitchens, and people are, being invited to come in from the cold. And he said, "Stop, Fiona. You should know, I've told you often enough, good news isn't sexy. We're
Right.
not going to have that. You
Yeah.
can," and I said, "So uh, George, you can't do that. People go to bed every night thinking it's the end of the world, but there's so much goodness. Why aren't we focusing? Tell them a problem, but show them a solution. Make it a
Absolutely.
balanced story. Don't leave people, particularly young people, despairing. We have the
Absolutely.
answers everywhere,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we should be focusing. I said, so why do you think good news isn't sexy? He said, there's no drama. I said, there's
Right.
enormous drama in people
Yeah,
doing good. If we
absolutely.
only asked them what made them go there and how they got there. And
Right.
so that's the early thoughts about why we need to be finding solutions, not the problems,
Right. Yeah.
because there are solutions everywhere for climate change and for a circular economy and for
Yeah.
packaging. There's
Yeah.
wonderful things for packaging. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
the,
I mean,
the, we've got absolutely wonderful scientists everywhere, and the community are wide awake to it now. When Ed Cozier, who I think you interviewed earlier, was saying when he came to England, people would say, "What are you doing?" And he would say, designing the first plant for food contact plastic, and they'd and walk away. And I used to think, why are they not interested? It was because they didn't know what to do about it.
right.
And until people know they can participate and do something,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
either, like climate change, feel angry because they see all this terrible news and no answers, or they want to disassociate, they close the curtains and the doors, I don't want to know about it, or they feel like throttling the person telling them the problem. But they don't get that they can participate. At a
Indeed.
local level, everybody can do something. And that's
Absolutely.
where they live, and they can improve where they live. You
Yeah.
don't have to go out and do a big thing. You
No.
can go and you can join your neighbors to grow up and down some streets now in Spain and things. You've got communities coming together in their streets and they're growing all the orange trees and they share it, and they've got fruit and vegetable growing and they share it. And it's not just community gardens. There's so many wonderful things, as you know, that
Yes.
can
Well,
happen.
you are the CEO and founder of the Earth Champion Foundation, and that your wonderful work should be known more and more, and is getting known more and more
Yes,
around the world. And we hope to help and support you with that. But can
thank
we
you.
wind the clock back a little bit,
Certainly.
Fiona, and tell me? I mean, the story you've shared with us already is perhaps where the seed of the idea came from. But
Yeah.
how did it actually sort of come about, please?
Um, well, a few things. One was that one of the pivots was when I was in New York at the UN in 1997, 98, no, 98, at the Commission for Sustainable Development on water issues. I know
Hmm.
a lot about water, and I
Hmm.
ended up working, having left journalism
Hmm.
when I returned to Australia. And I joined a group that invented the membrane microfiltration that
Right,
is made of polypropylene, actually.
right.
And
Yeah.
they recycle it, by the way, but fine hairs. And the inventor of that was the inventor of kidney dialysis machines. But
Oh,
this is for
wow.
city water. So
Okay.
that this membrane technology was not getting a very fair go or fair hearing from the big systems. So anyway, so I was in New York, and at 4 in the morning, my son Ben rang me sobbing to say that a wonderful friend of his had suicided, and he was ringing me from Australia. And I said, why on earth would she do it? Her family were great friends of ours. We were all very fond of them, and she was very bright and loved. And he said she'd left a note for her parents saying she could see no one she could be that could inspire her. And I said, but Ben, she was bright, she was loved, she had everything going. And there's a wonderful woman, a young woman, could have been Nari, who got a standing ovation for what she did for animals. And that could have
Right.
been Nari. And
Yes.
Ben was quiet, and then he yelled into the phone, don't you get it, Mum? You're in a private club. You know, but how does the rest of us know what to do?
Right.
It's
Right.
all very well, this private club of a few of you, but it's going to take all of us to do something. And you say and I said, there are wonderful people everywhere. And he said, what does the media give us? Mum, you should know. And I said, what, Ben? And he yelled, rock stars, athletes, and crooks, and slammed the phone down. And
Wow.
I was crying, and I thought, yep, we were asked to pursue the
Yeah.
most awful stories instead
Yes.
of the noble ones. And so that night I sat down and I wrote the vision that that Australia was about to spend billions of dollars in 2000 running the Olympics. And that's, shaving a second off a run, half an inch off a jump is important. But why aren't we benchmarking the best in the world and the solutions? And why don't we have an Olympics for the Earth, a championship for the Earth? And we link it to the Olympics and we borrow the world media the week before from initially one day, and we showcase what nations are doing for climate change. And every 4 years, they surface, like they do for the runners and swimmers, they surface their very best solutions, and we share it quickly and across borders.
What a fantastic idea.
And so that's what we've been doing, and it's been quite. The big announcement will be in 2027, and we're not sure that Mr. Trump will be very happy to have us, so we may hold it in London to announce it the week before. But I got permission. We ran our program in Switzerland.
Yes.
Under the nose of the Olympic Committee, who are saying, "Oh no, you can't borrow our world media." No. But by the time we put 72 of the local Earth champions who'd been accredited by the UN and WIPO onto their stage in Switzerland, they agreed to give us 1 day.
Fantastic.
So that could potentially reach 2 or 3 billion people every 4 years.
Yes.
We have to. So that's it, really.
Fantastic.
It's a simple idea.
It is, but and you're so well positioned, Fiona. You're uniquely positioned to do that. So fabulous, so fabulous. Looking forward to it, and anything we can do to help and support you along with that preparation, we'd very much like to do. In that journey, I mean, gosh, how long is it now?
25 years.
25 years.
But we've paused. We've run this now in 5 different regions of the Earth. We've started in Australia. We ran it twice there to get the systems in place and actually do, the measuring and the line up with the UN treaties. And now it's the Sustainable Development Goals. And we've got the UN now as a partner because they liked our name. And 5 years later, they have champions of the Earth and we're the Earth champions. We do it bottom up. But business and government as well as everyday people, Indigenous wisdom and youth, we're very interested in everyone's solutions. And then we interview them, but for an hour each, and then that goes to the local experts, and then it goes to Switzerland, to the global experts with UNEP, UN Development Programme, WIPO, and the IUCN. So then we've got a global benchmark. And so that's the outstanding ones and the valued ones. There's no winners and losers in this. We all win by discovery of knowledge.
Absolutely. So refreshing. And as you rightly say, this is action on climate change. And in the even small everyday occurrences, the regular Mr. and Mrs. Joe Blogs, can make a difference, can have an impact with all the ideas.
And meet their neighbours too, connect again. Children stop doing this. But schools are most interested in doing this and developing Earth Champion teams within their schools so children can say, Dad, I've joined the water Earth Champion group, and not only have I learned to row, but I've learned about fish and how to clean up our river and how to save water. And that's going to be a critical resource in the future. We need to take care of it.
Gosh, yes.
So there's so many good human beings doing good, quiet work. And when we interview them, that's where we get the drama. We ask in that hour at the end, was there ever a time you wanted to give up? You thought you couldn't do anymore? And everywhere, thousands of people have said yes. And then we say, what happened? They hit a wall emotionally or lost everything, whatever it was. But that's their drama, the bit that was that
sexy
reporter thought was missing. Yes, the sexy bit. And then they go away maybe for a year, a week, 2 years, but they say something to themselves that's very important, that triggers again. I cared so much about that. I had to go back and do it. And when they do that, we say, what was it you said exactly? We want to hear that so that we can tell children at school, if someone's having a hard time, don't get worse. Don't bully them. This could be the beginning of their hero's journey. Because every human being has something that they can contribute while they're alive. Absolutely. They can do something extraordinary. So
Absolutely. It's a
there's
wonderful message, Fiona. Really, it is. I mean, wow, what a mentor you are. But did you have a mentor at all along the way?
Yes, I have been very fortunate at
Hmm.
different times. Our chairman up until last year for the global, he wasn't on the fiduciary board, he was on the International Advisory Committee, was
Right,
Sir Crispin Tickell, who
right.
wrote the first book on climate change when he was at Harvard. And he was also the ambassador for for Britain at the UN for 8 years.
Okay,
And he
okay.
was also ambassador in various other places. So he was my first international, very important uh,
Mentor.
chairman and
Yeah,
mentor.
yeah.
I also, a man called Edward de Bono, the lateral thinker, he
Right.
was on our board. He was on
Yes.
the board for the whole time. He thought it
Wow.
was a very novel, good idea.
Yeah,
And so, he wrote books on six hats thinking and all of those,
yeah,
lateral thinking.
yeah.
So when we sit in meetings with him, he loved jokes too. And we used to have a lot of laughs, but a lot of very original ideas from him.
Yeah.
And then the Bath University, somehow, I don't know, someone must have said something, and they invited me to do a 3-month course with them on mentorship. They were
Okay.
mentoring 7 others. There were 8 of us who were entrepreneurs in different fields. And the first month I sat there thinking, if I had to do all this and put this in place, I'd never have started. I just jumped in. I
Yeah,
didn't, I didn't know there was a system I was meant to set up. We are a charity. We're a
that's right.
charity in Britain. We've been a
Right.
charity for years.
Yes.
And we're in the process, we've gone very quiet lately because we're redoing everything,
Okay.
especially our website, which has been,
Right.
we had a
Right.
beautiful award-winning website, and then
Yeah.
our webmaster was unwell and he sold the business. The next people pulled everything down. So
Oh,
it's been
gosh.
put together by, at the moment, it was put together
Rebranding.
by,
Rebranding,
yes,
right?
yes, rebranding, and it was put together by some of the volunteers, and it wasn't great. So it's now being rebuilt right now.
Right.
It should be ready in about 5 or 6 weeks. We should be
Exciting.
launching a new one. So
Exciting
yes,
times. Oh,
yes,
look forward. Can't wait for that,
yes,
Fiona. Really
yes.
fantastic.
So yes, we're
Been very busy.
very busy, but and just lately quiet while we re-engineer everything,
Sure.
because we could easily hold the announcement in hubs around the world at once, and
Mm-hmm.
that might be very exciting, to
Mm-hmm.
invite nations, to invite regions in the 5 regions of the earth, and have the call to action in
Uh-huh.
2022, 27,
Right. Yes.
the week before the Olympics, where we could, if all goes well, link the
Yeah.
Olympic media in to
Yeah.
say, not only what is the point, as one of our directors said, what is the point of running fast or jumping high if you can't breathe the air or drink the water?
Very
Of
well
course,
said.
we need
Yeah.
a championship for the earth as well,
Yeah.
and link it. So that's really the essence.
So exciting times to come then. And
Yes.
what would you say to your younger self, Fiona? I mean, you just you hit on it a little bit because you said, gosh, if I'd known it would be like this, maybe you
Yes.
wouldn't. But
Yes.
you jumped in and you
Yes.
started. And
Yes.
what yeah, any tips? Any tips for your younger self or
My
somebody
younger self or younger
contemplating?
people.
Yeah.
Um, I guess when you start something, this is the biggest thing I've been involved in, because the most wonderful thing is that my belief as a young woman and as a reporter and just friends and my family was that people essentially are good, all people, all beliefs and all systems. And
Yeah.
essentially, the more people I met, the more I realized it's our commonality that unites us, and that's where our peace is. We
Right.
need to make peace. And,
Yeah.
I've seen as a reporter the drama, but the most impressive people are the ones that are at peace with themselves,
Uh-huh.
and they are generous and they're grateful, And I think that's a lesson, I have to remind myself when I'm feeling frazzled and tired.
Yeah.
Don't, but look how blessed we are. We live on a beautiful
Sure.
planet, and it's
Yes.
the only home we have. And
Yes.
and nature has given us everything we need. We just have to harness it properly.
Absolutely.
We even energy. I know that oil and gas have been developing us enormously, but gently, their work can transform. In the Middle East,
Yeah.
they could be the hub of energy for the planet.
Yes.
Sunlight is so much cheaper than oil and gas and so much
Sure.
safer,
Yeah.
and it doesn't kill the water supply, whereas oil and gas and fracking are disastrous to the most precious resource we have.
Yeah.
It pollutes it forever.
Mm,
And
mm.
whereas the sunlight is giving us the energy, and if ever there was nations like the Middle East and Australia and anywhere that gets sunlight, and here in England, surrounding us here in Bath, we've got all of not only solar, but out in the ocean, we've got wind, and
Yeah.
it's gentle. And
Yep.
it's far more beautiful to look at the wind turbines than it is
Yes.
drilling and mining, which is destroying the soil and destroying people's air quality and water. So,
Absolutely. Yep.
and you just retrain people. Look, we all retrained. We left our old typewriters and went into computers.
Yep.
We're in that transition now.
Yes, we
People
are.
want to hang on to their typewriters. Yes, go for it. But they're going to be left way behind.
Yes,
And
you're
so
absolutely right. That's a great analogy, Fiona. Yeah,
it's our
really.
transition.
We're absolutely there. It is an exciting time to be involved
Yes.
in packaging and
Yes.
recycling, and for a better future for us all. So
And
um,
where packaging could really go, because we discover from the most extraordinary solutions from a man who flew around the world 100% on sunlight in a plane. I'll think of his name in a minute, but he's Swiss and very famous in Switzerland, but not famous anywhere else. And wonderful people, twin 5-year-olds got a 40-story building to recycle. But the really exciting thing for packaging is that you can grow kelp, which is a bigger absorber of CO2 than trees.
yeah,
And that's making a wonderful new plastic.
yeah,
And it's a very exciting new future that
yes.
you can do it naturally
Yeah,
and not
it's
have
out
to.
there. The technology is
Yes,
out there. We're
yes,
seeing lots of that at the moment, and long
yes,
may it continue. Yeah, exciting times, Fiona.
yes. And it's a transition that we should embrace because we all are going to be affected by where climate change is coming. I wish to my younger self, I didn't know how dangerous climate change will be, but
Mhm.
I do now because I've sit on committees at different times. And it's terrifying, actually. And
Mm.
if you love your children and your grandchildren, the very least you can do is start to take small steps
Yep.
consciously and feel good about it. Yes.
Yes,
I'm going
indeed.
to leave. Yeah, this is going to be wonderful. And
Yeah.
children, I'm so proud of you. You're going to inherit somewhere even more extraordinary. So don't
Yeah.
despair.
No.
Look
No.
to the goodness in us.
Absolutely.
Focus on that. So
Well, it's really wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today, Fiona, and sharing that with us. We
thank
look
you.
forward to watching and developing with you as
Thank
time
you.
goes by for 2027, a big year coming up. Um, and as I say, we'd like to share and support you in any way we can. It's an important
Thank
part of
you.
Mood Group, and
Thank you.
Mood etc. also it's really for that part of the business too. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Emma.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and
Thank
we'll
you.
catch up soon.
We will indeed. Indeed in Kent, I think. All
Yes,
the best.
indeed. Take good
Thank
care,
you.
Fiona.
Thank you
Thanks,
for the
then.
honor and the privilege. Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Goodbye.